It has only been 5 days since the New York Times published its blockbuster investigation demonstrating convincingly the president inherited hundreds of millions of dollars from his father through an illegal tax fraud scheme. That revelation has largely been drowned out by Supreme Court news, and asked about it today, the president deflected.
Very well documented. Very well documented. Yeah, it's been documented for many years. Very well. All public documents.
That, of course, is not at all true. The Times had to rely on inside sources and dozens of confidential documents to uncover the truth, and that may not be the end of it. Axios reports today the White House has begun to prepare for an onslaught of investigations if Democrats win back the House. I'm joined now by New Yorker staff writer Adam Davidson, who's been covering the president's finances and reports the president has more to worry about than a Democratic House, including the possibility that state officials and unpaid taxes could force him to liquidate part of his fortune. I've seen a lot of tweets this week, rightly, and a lot of commentary like, they found massive fraud 4 days ago, and like no one's doing anything
about it.
But the story is not over.
The story is not over. Now, first of all, it's not that they found like one time there was massive fraud. What they found was at the core of the Trump organization was decades and decades of unimaginably blatant fraud, creating false companies to pretend to buy hundreds of millions and millions of dollars worth of equipment, right, so that they could simultaneously defraud the IRS and jack up their rates on their tenants. I mean, it's
yeah. I think your microphone fell, but keep going.
Okay. It has been an endless. It is a shocking story. This is not, a rich family tried to not pay as much in taxes. This is blatant. It also shows that Donald Trump himself added virtually no value to the company. That his wealth is very clearly,
he was a black hole.
It was just
like Dad kept pumping more and more money, and he kept screwing it up.
Yes, it was making money on middle-income housing in Brooklyn and Queens, spending it irresponsibly on Trump projects. And here's the thing. His businesses in New York, New Jersey, Florida, California, Virginia, these are states that either likely will have or could well have Democratic attorney generals who have every right to seek both criminal investigations for tax fraud as well as to start reclaiming money. Crain's reported that the Trump family might owe as much as $400 million just in New York state taxes. Forget about federal taxes, Virginia taxes, Florida taxes. So I don't see how 2019 is anything less than many multiples as crazy as 2018, because you're going to have, for whatever Mueller does, whatever the Democratic Congress does, and then multiple state investigations trying to claw back the Trump family fortune.
And one of the points I think you make in the piece and others have made is that even though the commission of the acts is often outside the window of the statute of limitations, the furtherance of the fraud keeps happening because they've done a bunch of stuff to sort of cover it up.
Well, first of all, we don't know yet.
Right.
What the New York Times found was unbelievable documentary evidence through 2004 of ongoing schemes for decades. The exact same people continue to run the Trump organization. We have no evidence that they changed their strategy or stopped committing fraud. But the New York Times only got that data. They don't have subpoena power. All those other entities do. But more to the point, the courts are very clear that while the statute of limitations is for criminal tax fraud is generally 6 years, it's 6 years from the last effort to conceal. And since, just today, Trump was concealing this tax fraud, I think a prosecutor would have a fairly easy time saying, no, this is an ongoing criminal enterprise.
You're a person, I think, who is on the record as saying the president's finances are a ticking time bomb that is bound to go off. So I wondered what your reaction was when you read the Times story.
It is a fundamental game changer in American history. It is so important, and it will take, I think, months, maybe years for us to absorb it. I don't know what it was like to read the Pentagon Papers the day it came out or to fully take in the smoking gun tape of Nixon. But this is bigger than certainly the smoking gun tape, because this is, it ends responsible discussion of Trump as a self-made man. It ends responsible discussion of the Trump organization as anything other than at its core, criminal enterprise that Trump himself, almost certainly Ivanka, Don Jr., Trump's sister, the former federal judge, were deeply involved in. I mean, it is, and I don't see how prosecutors don't spend the next many, many years looking into that. I think the Trump family will be much poorer in a few years than they are today.
And you also make the point, and you just made it, which I think is worth noting, is this goes to 2004. There's a lot after that we don't know, but there's just no reason to believe that anyone sort of got super obsessed with following the law. At any point.
It is the exact same people. Alan Weisselberg has been the head finance guy with Trump since he was hired by Fred Trump in 1970. We started working with Donald in 1973. I have to assume he either designed these schemes or was integral in promoting these schemes. When Michael Cohen sort of turned on Trump, flipped, he released that recording where he said, yes, when I created those fake LLCs to try and hide the payments to Stormy Daniels, the porn star, I talked to Weisselberg. He told me how to do it. So there's every evidence that this is an ongoing criminal fraud.
All right, Adam Davidson, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you.